The Apriorian 10-point program is designed to be run by small groups. The 10-point program is a step-by-step method of eliminating social costs and proving God exists, by means of an empirical experiment that justifies faith. The basics. Empirical small groups are composed of from 3 to 15 persons. The 10-point plan is designed to work as a program for small groups. Faith drives out competition, division, fear, and coercion. Liberalism is strengthened when fear and doubt destroy faith. The Apriorian 10-point plan rewards faith and penalizes fear. The mission of the test group is to prove faith can be empirically validated. Apriorian small groups turn time, talent, and assets into equity. Equity is the value added to assets. The 10-point plan creates an experiment that produces evidence that faith is empirically justified. The 10-point algorithm is a program designed for small groups that empirically justifies faith. 1. Create a small group. A. Find a few people with faith. B. A person with faith is a person who trusts the people of God. C. People of faith do not create social costs for the church. D. Persons who work in faith with the people of faith form missions. E. Missions are formal small groups doing works of faith to demonstrate the power of God. F. Faith can be found in friends, neighbors, club members, or even co-workers. The key feature of a person with faith is someone who does not produce social costs. Those with faith are not parasitic. G. Parasites and freeloaders are not suitable members for small groups. H. Take stock of the small group assets. We all have time, talent, and resources. The experiment uses what the small group has. I. The difference between Christians and progressives is that progressives do not pay their own way. 2. Register the mission as a not-for-profit charitable institution, if required in your location. The most suitable designation for an Apriorian mission is the not-for-profit charitable institution classification. Missions may be registered or formed as a cooperative. Apriorian missions are able to operate as a social network without state sanctification. Secure the services of a lawyer if you are unsure about the legal requirements in your jurisdiction. 3. Define the mission of the small group. Small group participants capitalize the mission. B. Time, talent, and assets are allocated to the small group program. C. What is not needed for personal use is invested in the mission. D. Investing in people of faith is an act of faith. E. The skills and assets allocated to the mission defines the mission. F. The purpose of those with faith is to build the church. G. The mission of a small group defines the specific way its purpose is carried out. 4. Create a unit of account. Money can take many different forms, but it is a measure of value. B. Money is a unit of account needed for empirical verification of accounts. C. The empirical verification of an account is called reconciliation. D. Money is a tool for tracking credits and debits in a precise and analytical way. E. Money is a system of measurement designed to track and measure equity. F. Money is composed of units that are multiples of one another, as are all systems of measurement. G. Units of measure are nested inside one another in an orderly and predictable way. H. Money is empirically useful. 5. Delineate the group's empirical parameters or values of verification. Observe the core strength of the group. If all members are plumbers, then the group's activities will center on plumbing. If the members are ladies who quilt, they will form a quilting group. If artists predominate the civic markets, their art. B. The group's strengths are its point of specialization, and it is this specialized skill the group defines as its mission. C. It is this mission and the value it produces that gives the mission the capacity to be empirically validated. 6. Capitalize the test group. Capitalization is acquiring assets relevant to the mission of the test group. Capitalization is done through donation. Each donation receives a charitable receipt equal to the value donated. Alternatively, the investor receives a credit to their prefers account. Tax receipts can be used to obtain a tax refund or exchange for preferred shares, prefers. B. If members wish to donate cash, the investor may purchase bonds or prefers. 7. Set up. A. The test group rewards all work and services are paid for. No one works for free. B. Test groups establishes a living wage. $15 an hour is a good ballpark figure. The amount is not important but ought to be common across the spectrum of occupations. C. Test groups can be set up by any group of persons anywhere, using what they have. D. Businesses and churches and other social organizations can be converted to a test group. E. Each small group member of the program obtains one common share. F. Common shares are voting shares. G. Preferred shares are value shares measuring equity. H. Small group members form a council for the purposes of administration. I. Councils contain all the small group members with one member serving as a chairperson. 8. Maintain accounts. The key to the success of the experiment is the monetary system. B. Progressive societies use asset-based currencies. C. The test group must set up and maintain by means of reconciliation an equity-based monetary system. D. The unit of account is called a prefer. E. Prefer is a contraction of preferred share, designated by the symbol. F. Prefers are issued in units that are multiples of each other. G. Various types of monetary vehicles may be used in the test group as a form of money so long as they are equity-based and have no asset value. H. Money is ultimately a way to keep and reconcile accounts. 9. Promotion. Each new member can be given a credit balance to start. There is no risk to this. 50.00 will initiate exchanges. The program works because it has lower costs than the conventional economic and political systems. B. The Apriorian small groups program does not require contracts or guarantees to work. C. As people join the group and the program grows. D. When the small group exceeds 15 persons, the group splits along the fault line or line of least resistance. E. A small group division creates two specialized groups. F. Group of quilters and plumbers would split naturally into a group of quilters and a group focused on plumbing. G. A small group of plumbers would split into those dealing with households and those doing commercial jobs, or perhaps they would each specialize in a different jurisdiction. 10. Administration. Councils contain a chairperson and up to 14 members. B. When the number of groups grow, the chairpersons form a higher order level of administration. A chair is appointed to head these meetings. C. Lower councils hire all persons who want a job. Each person is put into the sector that reflects his expertise and the needs of the experiment. D. The program eliminates risks and threats of loss because faith between persons is restored. Insurance exists because we do not trust one another. E. The Apriorian small group program eliminates all social costs. This includes unemployment, debt, poverty, inflation, pollution, taxation, homelessness, war, property crime, and the cost of the state generally. For more information, please visit apriorian.com or take advantage of Apriorian's video and podcast channels. The algorithm run-through. The Apriorian small group program is a program designed to prove faith is an empirically verifiable substance. It has observable effects that can be quantified. The difference between Christians and others is that Christians can be perfected whereas no one else can. The small groups program is the path laid out for believers. The program works with small groups which are created by capitalization. Capitalization is another term for investment. We are the product of community, and what we have ought to be managed for the good of the community. Equity is ultimately a measure of community value. The Apriorian Small Groups Program is a program designed to increase the equity of the investments we make in an empirically verifiable way. The small group works much as any market works. Consumers buy goods and services from sellers using prefers. Equity is earnings issued as a form of currency. Preferred shares are issued in incremental multiples, in the denominations conventional forms of currency are. Producing goods and services increases equity. Any small group can acquire needed supplies and equipment using the equity represented by its members. Eggs are priced at $5.00 a dozen. Bread is $2.00 a loaf. Ham is $6.00 a pound. Selling a dozen eggs provides the shareholder with $5.00. The seller of eggs can purchase a half-pound of ham for a loaf of bread. Sellers do not profit from the sale of ham, or eggs or other goods and services. There is no need for profits or for the depreciation of assets. The replacement of hens or ovens is not dependent on a person's ability to amass or borrow capital. There is no risk to selling eggs for the labor value invested, because the capital is not going to be consumed and disappear. In the Apriorian Small Group Program, profits are as unnecessary as insurance. Both represent risk, and when faith abounds, risk is liquidated. When capital is needed, it is provided by a transfer. If a facility needs to produce more eggs, the limited council transfers more hens from a facility that provides hens. Capitalizing a business or facilitating the expansion of a business is a transfer of assets from one account to another, facilitated by a transfer of prefers to the seller's account, reflecting the value transferred. People brought up in the economics of risk have difficulty understanding how a business could be set up, operated and expanded without borrowing or saving or making a profit. Yet as members of a family or community, this is done all the time. It's all a matter of the level of faith one has in the other person. When you help a friend move, you have created a moving company. Your friend is the client. You do not receive immediate payment from the friend you helped. He is provided a credit. Nor do you make a profit on the service, but at some point your friend will help you, or you will help a friend who you owe a favor to. If one friend does not repay your kindness, another one does. The economy of your family and friends prospers to the degree you are all trustworthy and repay your obligations. Social networks are informal markets. They are informal because the accounting is subjective and the economics of them cannot be reconciled. Each person in a social network has an account. This account is debited and credited as help is given and received. However, because it is an informal accounting, the accounting lacks empirical verifiability. When a business starts up, the community benefits even though the business is privately owned. Even in conventional cultures, the equity in a town increases when a new business is started. The Apriorian Small Groups Program does what mankind has always done, but in a more efficient way. Trust is broken when one member of a network does not give as much as he or she gets. In economics, this kind of freeloading is called externalizing costs onto society and future generations. It is not possible to externalize costs when costs are defined empirically, as they are in the Apriorian Small Group Program. Any cost you create will be assigned to you as accounts are reconciled.